Hello, welcome to another session of Company Administration. This is the continuation of the previous class. Today, we will be discussing about the matters pertaining to a promoter. As you know, in the previous class, we discussed about the 4 distinct stages that is involved in the formation of a company. And the first stage was promotion. Promotion is the first stage in the formation of a company, and it is nothing but discovery of a business idea, subsequent organization of funds, property, managerial ability, and to convert it into a business in order to earn profit. And the person who makes such a deliberate attempt is known as, to make that company come into existence is known as promoter. So a promoter is a person who conceives an idea, visualizes a project and make necessary steps to convert it into a business. Based on all this information, today we are going to discuss about the functions of promoter. So the first and foremost function of a promoter is nothing but to come up with a business opportunity, isn't it? Coming up with a business opportunity, then studying or investigating a detailed study upon the feasibility of that particular business opportunity, whether it is profitable, whether it is a demanding one, whether it will get a market. So all such questions are again investigated by the promoter. So the first function is in the formation of a company is promotion, wherein the promoter will be coming up with a business opportunity, then investigating into the business opportunity with regard to its feasibility, then collecting the requisite number of persons that is necessary to form a business. There is always a minimum number of persons required to form a company, whether it is private or whether it is public. So again, this promoter need to find out the requisite number of people required to form a company. Then the promoter's another function is to find out the name for the company. Always a company is being denoted with a name, isn't it? So we need to find out, the promoter need to come up with a name. So that is again the function of a promoter. Then another function with regard to promoter is to draft the memorandum of association and articles of association. So that is the main thing as far as a company is concerned. Memorandum of association means the charter of the company. And this articles of association speaks about the rules and regulation. So the promoter need to settle the details regarding the memorandum as well as articles of association. So they have to get these documents printed. They have to get these documents drafted. Then again another function of a promoter is with regard to prospectus, that is again drafting the content that need to be put into the prospectus. So that is another function of a promoter, that is drafting or preparation of prospectus. Then comes another function, that is the preliminary contracts entered by a promoter. That is, before this company comes into existence or commencement of business, there might be some contract entered by the promoter. Again, that is also a function of a promoter. Incurrence of preliminary expenses. Another function of a promoter is to incur preliminary expenses which is incidental towards the formation of a company. That is again preparation of this memorandum of association, articles of association, drafting the prospectus, all require some sort of expenses. The printing, the drafting, everything requires expenses, and that need to be met by the promoter. So there's again another function of a promoter. Then to arrange finance for an organization. As I said earlier, finance is the lifeblood of a business. Again, the promoter need to make all the deliberate attempt to find out investment, to find out finance for an organization. Then again, any other such activities that is necessary for undertaking or to make the company comes into existence. So any other function that is incidental towards the formation of a company need to be undertaken by a promoter. Is that clear? So these are the functions of a promoter. Promoter is a person who comes up with a business opportunity. So that is one of the function. Then they need to make a thorough study or investigation on the feasibility of that project. Then they have to make all the necessary steps for the registration or incorporation of a company, that is from drafting or preparing memorandum of association, articles of association, prospectus, printing the same, finding out the name for the organization, finding out the finance for an organization, all such preliminary expenses, and to enter into preliminary contracts, and all these are regarded as the functions of a promoter. Or any other aspects relating to the formation of a company is undertaken by a promoter. Even there might be a negotiation between companies with regard to registration of a company. That is, what I mean to say with that is, sometimes always a promoter needn't come with a business opportunity or a new innovative idea. Rather, they can take away an existing company. So there will be a negotiation that happens between two companies. Even that is also regarded as a function of a promoter. Hope the concept is clear, the function of a promoter. The legal status or legal position of a promoter. As we know, promoter is a person who is responsible for the formation of a company, or it's a promoter who brings the company into existence. They have a wide range of powers as far as the formation of company is concerned. But it is very interesting to note that the legal status or the legal position of a promoter or the relationship of a promoter towards a company is neither that of an agent nor that of a trustee, because there is no principal in existence or there is no trust in existence. They act only as a fiduciary position. That is, the legal status or the legal position of a promoter towards the company is concerned, it is that of a fiduciary relationship. Okay, so there is a fiduciary relationship that exists between the promoter as well as the company. This fiduciary relationship makes the promoter or brings some obligation towards the promoter as far as the formation of the company is concerned. So in the formation of a company, they have to disclose all material facts as far as the promoter is concerned. They have to disclose out all the material facts relating to the formation of a company. They should be very much open as well as fair. They have to disclose all their interest in the company. So the legal position or the legal relationship of the promoter with that of the company, or the legal status, if you say, it is that of a fiduciary relationship. A fiduciary relationship exists between a promoter and a company. There is no trust, there is no principle in existence as far as the promoter and the company is concerned. So we have discussed that promoter is a person who is responsible for the formation of a company. But when we see the legal status or the legal position or the relationship of a promoter towards a company, we see that he stands in a fiduciary position. That is, neither he is an agent nor he is a trustee. Since there is no principle in existence, he is not an agent. Since there is no trust in existence, he is not a trustee. He stands in a fiduciary position. And this fiduciary position creates some duties and obligation on the part of the promoter. So we will be discussing about the duties and obligations of a promoter. As I said, a promoter stands in the fiduciary position, and this puts an obligation on the part of the promoter to disclose all material facts pertaining to the formation of a company. So it's the duty of a promoter to disclose of all the material facts relating towards the formation of a company, relating to the formation of a company. He need to disclose of the entire facts, or he need to disclose of the entire matters pertaining to the promotion of a company. Similarly, a promoter is not supposed to make any sort of secret profit directly or indirectly at the expenses of the company. If such secret profit is generated or created, that will be taken away by the company, that it will be seized by the company, or company is having the right to recover the same from the promoter. Is that clear? So one of the obligation is to disclose of all the material facts pertaining towards the formation of a company. Secondly, the promoter is not supposed to make any sort of secret profit directly or indirectly at the expenses of the company. If any such secret profit is generated or created, and that can be seized by the company, or the company can take it away from the promoter. Now, another obligation is not to misuse the position of a promoter. That is, any unfair or unreasonable use of his position as a promoter. He is not supposed to do anything such that. Another obligation or duty is to disclose all the interest or profit that the promoter has into the business. That is, he might be having some interest upon the business, or he might have created some secret profit. That should be disclosed in full faith. Faithfully, he need to disclose of such information either in front of the board of directors or the shareholders, or he can disclose every such matters in the prospectus or in the articles of association. This can be done by a promoter. Similarly, another important obligation or duty as far as the promoter is concerned is not to make any profit by selling of his property towards the company. If he has done so, he have to disclose the same. If he has disclosed all the material facts, then it is okay. Otherwise, it is a non-compliance of the act. That is, he is not supposed to make any profit by the sale of his asset or property towards the company unless all the material fact has been disclosed. That is, by disclosing the material fact, he can sell the property. It never says that promoter is prohibited. He can sell his property towards the company, but the material fact should be disclosed. If it is not been disclosed, he cannot make any profit out of the sales of his property towards the company. So these are the major duties and obligations as far as a promoter is concerned. There is one more, that is, he should make all the sincere efforts, and he should deliberately make all necessary activities for the registration of a company. That is, creating the documents, drafting the documents. He need to prepare all the documents like memorandum, articles of association. If they are going for issuing shares, then the prospectus, and such activities should be very deliberately and faithfully, sincerely conducted by the promoter. The major duties are: one is to disclose all the material facts, disclose all the interest upon the company, to disclose all the secret profit the profit created by the promoter, and not to make any secret profit at the expenses of the company. And similarly, they are not supposed to create any profit by the sale of their property towards the company. The only thing is, if they have done so, they have to disclose the material fact. And they are not supposed to utilize their position for any wrong activity. That is, the unfair or unreasonable use of their position should not be undertaken. And similarly, at the end, they have to make a sincere effort towards the formation of a company. The preparation of various documents should be undertaken by the promoter of the company. Now, coming to the liabilities of a promoter. A promoter is liable for any non-compliance of the provisions of the Companies Act. It is not only the promoter, any officials connected towards a company is supposed to follow all the legal provisions mentioned in the Companies Act. Since we are discussing about the promoter, a promoter is also liable for non-compliance of any legal provisions mentioned in the Companies Act. Non-compliance means that person is not following the legal provisions mentioned in the Companies Act. They are not following the rules and regulations mentioned in the Companies Act. If so, then the promoter will be held liable. Similarly, a promoter is also liable for any sort of untrue, misguiding and misstatement provided in the prospectus. As you know, prospectus is a document which is issued towards the public, and the public will subscribe towards the company's shares and debentures based on the information provided in the prospectus. So such information should not be a misleading one or a misguiding one or an untrue one. If a promoter make an attempt to give away any misstatement in the prospectus, then they will be held liable towards the subscribers of the shares or debentures, as well as they will be held criminally liable for such an activity. That is, they are entitled to punishment, imprisonment, starting from 6 months, and it might extend towards 10 years of imprisonment, depending upon the impact of the activity undertaken or the misstatement that is being provided. And also they are liable to pay fine. So they are liable for criminal activities. They will be held liable for criminal activities if they are giving misleading or misguiding or misstatement in the prospectus. So they will be liable for an imprisonment as well as liable for fine. So a promoter is liable for any sort of misleading statement that is provided in the prospectus. They might be giving such a misleading statement in order to attract more people towards the organization, or invite more public to subscribe towards the shares or debentures. So such misleading statement given away by the promoter will fetch him a criminal liability. Similarly, a promoter is liable for furnishing false or incorrect statements or information in any of the documents that is necessary for the formation of a company. As you know, the basic documents that is necessary for the formation of company is memorandum and articles of association. If at any instance the promoter is giving away a false or incorrect information in such documents, then he will be held liable. All these are again what? Non-compliance of the Companies Act. Companies Act gives away all the legal provisions with regard to preparation of a memorandum, articles or prospectus and so on. If at any instance a promoter is giving away a false information, a misleading or a misguiding information, then they will be held liable. Similarly, a promoter cannot induce or persuade an individual to invest into the proposed company. He cannot fraudulently induce a person to invest into the company or persuade fraudulently to invest into a company. If so, then the promoter will be held liable. That is again a non-compliance of Companies Act. And last one is, he is liable for failure to cooperate with the company liquidator during the winding up. At the time of winding up, if a liquidator finds that the promoter has done something unlawful at the time of formation of a company, and the liquidator is having the right to call upon the promoter for investigation or to examine the promoter for investigation, and he is liable to cooperate with the liquidator regarding any such matter. He cannot abstain himself from coming before the liquidator. So like any other official, a promoter is also liable to be investigated by the liquidator at the time of winding up. In such cases, they have to cooperate with the liquidator, company liquidator during winding up. So these are the important liabilities of an promoter. That is, he is liable for non-compliance of any of the Companies Act. He is liable for any misstatement or untrue statement given away in the prospectus, or he cannot fraudulently persuade someone to invest money into the company, the proposed company, and he is also liable for framing any false or incorrect information in any of the documents at the time of formation of the company. And at the end, he is liable for any failure that he commits to cooperate with the company liquidator at the time of winding up or liquidation. Coming to the rights of a promoter is having a right to receive or get reimbursed the preliminary expenses that was incurred at the time of formation of a company. As you know, at the formation of a company, the preliminary expenses need to be incurred by a promoter. The preliminary expenses is incurred in connection with drafting or printing memorandum, articles of association, for paying remuneration towards the solicitors, for giving advices, towards accountants. So lots of preliminary expenses are incurred by a promoter at the time of formation of a company. So a promoter is having a right to receive back that preliminary expenses, or to get reimbursed that preliminary expenses after the registration of the company. That is one of the right enjoyed by a promoter, that is right to receive or get reimbursed the preliminary expenses which was incurred in connection with the formation of a company. The second right that is mentioned here is right to receive proportionate share from the co-promoters. It is very interesting to note that a promoter is not having any right to remuneration. There is no right to remuneration as far as a promoter is concerned. If there is contract between the promoter and the company, then the promoter can get remuneration. Otherwise, to that effect, a promoter is not having any right to get a remuneration, even though he is the person who is responsible for the company to come into existence. Okay, if there is a contract, he will be getting a remuneration either in lump sum or as that is lump sum, that is in cash, or as a shares, or partly as cash or partly as shares, and that will be again mentioned in the mentioned at the documents at the time of registration of the company. It will be again mentioned in the memorandum as well as articles of association. So the point here is a promoter cannot claim remuneration as a matter of right. If there is a contract between the company and the promoter, then he will get the remuneration. It will be either in the means of shares or as a lump sum cash, or partly as cash and partly as share. Again, that will be mentioned in the necessary document at the time of registration of the company. So these are the basic two rights. One is to right to receive, get reimbursed, or to receive or to get reimbursed the preliminary expenses, and secondly, to get the proportionate share from the co-promoters. So these are the rights of a promoter. Hope it is clear.